So we're going to go over grammar for lesson 9, dialogue 1. All right, the first one is the modal verb yao. Yao means to want, or to want to do something, or have a desire to do something. Okay, so 明天是周末. So tomorrow is the weekend. 你要做什么? So you want, okay, to do what? In other words, what do you want to do? 我要去图书馆看书. So I want to go to the library to read books. 你去不去? So you go or not. So you going or not? Here it says 我要喝可乐. I want to drink Coke. 他要喝茶. He wants to drink tea. Okay. So to negate it, in other words, to make it negative, okay, you use 不想. So you could say 我不想去图书馆. So I don't want to go to the library. Okay. 今天我不想做功课. Okay. Today I don't want to do homework. Okay. And again, let's look at it this way. If 要 is a little bit dynamic, you could say 不要, but it would carry a different meaning than just negating it. Okay. If you want to just negate the 要 and make it into not or don't, then you would use 想. Okay, so let's just keep it simple for now. All right. In later lessons, we can delve into this, into more depth. All right. So here's the overall difference, at least in this context, between 想 and 要. So the two modal verbs has to do with mood, or the way you think. Okay, the way you're feeling. They can express a desire or an intention, but 要 carries a stronger tone. All right. So it says here, answer the following questions using 要 where appropriate. So 李友去商店买什么? So you could say 李友要, so she wants to go to the store, okay, the shop, 商店买 buy 什么 what, okay? And you could say 李友, just turn on my keyboard, 李友要去商店买裤子和衬衫. Okay, and then 你这个周末要做什么? So you this weekend want to do what? So maybe you want to play ball with your friends. You would say 我这个周末, so this weekend, 要 want to 跟朋友, so with friends, 一起 together 去打球. Okay, so you want to go with your friends together to go play ball. Okay, the 一起 it's like emphasis, but it's just that's the common way that they say it. Okay, all right, some measure words. So here are some useful measure words. All right, so you have here 一个人. So 个 refers to person. You notice that there's person on the radical here. 一位先生. So this is also person. This is a person radical for this. Okay, and 位 is more formal. It also refers to person. It's a bit more formal of a way to say that. Okay, 一杯茶. So 1 cup, and this has a tree radical here. So maybe, a cup was made out of bamboo or, cut out of wood somehow. 一瓶可乐, so 1 bottle of Coke. And this radical on the right, it refers to like earthenware. So maybe, a bottle was made out of like an earthenware way back when. They still use some of that in China nowadays. So 一支笔, 支 also has the radical for wood, so it was probably made out of bamboo or another type of wood. 笔, well, that's not the measure word. So I'll just go over the measure word. So 一张纸, so 张 just refers to something flat, 纸 which is paper, so you would use that with paper. 一节课, so 节 refers to like segments. Okay, so 1 class period. 一篇课文, so 1 text of a lesson. So pian refers to the text. It has bamboo, so maybe the text is written on bamboo. If you recall, like books 2,000 years ago were made out of bamboo slips, and then they were kind of knitted together where they could be rolled up. Maybe you've seen movies with this, and that's probably where that came from. All right, 一件衬衫, so one piece of clothing or one shirt. Okay, so this piece is a person and then a cow. So maybe people wore the hide of a cow. 一条裤子, 条 means something that's long and kind of curvy. Okay, so one long curvy pants, meaning in English we would say one pair of pants because we refer to the pant legs. But Chinese don't refer to the two legs. They just refer to the overall shape. Okay, 一双鞋, so this is a pair. Okay, a pair of shoes. Okay, 一块钱. Kuai is referring to like a piece, so like a piece of money, maybe the coin. And here there's a radical for earth, so maybe the earth was split up. Okay, and that has something. Might be some reference to that. Okay, 一毛钱. Mao is referring to like a dime. 一分 is usually the smallest denomination or close to it. So if you notice that like even minute is also used, it's 分 as well. Okay, 一本书. Okay, so that's a book. 本 is referring to like the base or the root. Okay, so that's, I guess that's how they referred to it. Okay, and then 一只鞋, so just one shoe, not a pair, just one. All right. So here are some exercises, and I actually brought up the screen for extra exercises, and I want to take a look at those as well. So fill in the blank with the proper measure word. You can always go back and refer to this, so you can kind of screenshot or pause it, open up in a different tab. Okay, so it's 两, so two, and then cafe, so coffee. So you probably want to use cups. Okay, it's probably going to be cups, 两, and then you would say 杯, cafe. Okay, 三 something, 衬衫, so three shirts. So you would say three kind of pieces or garments, which would be 件衬衫, right? And then here's some more exercises. Okay, so if you have like a pen, so something, B. So if you recall, and it's actually right here side by side, so it'll be right here. So 支笔, and I'm trying to see if I can get it to pop up. All right, so I kind of rewrote it just to get it to pop up. Well, actually, that's not entirely the right one. 一支笔. So what sometimes you might have to do is scroll down until you get the right one, and this is one of those instances. So number 6 here. That's the right one with that radical. Okay, and then a piece of paper. So I'll let you figure that out for a sec. All right, so it's 一张纸. Okay, and then 3 books. Okay, 3本书, and then 1 class period, 一节课. 3 and then something 可乐. So it can either be cups or bottles. So that's up to you. I'll just say bottles, so 瓶, 3瓶可乐. And then 4 something 茶, so 4. You could either be cups or bottles. Okay, for tea. So I'll just say cups, so 4杯茶. And then water, so maybe I'll just use bottle, 一瓶水. Okay, and then 两, and then 鞋, so 2 something shoes. So probably you want to use pairs, 双鞋. Okay, and then this is for pants, so 一条. That's how you spell it. I'll move myself here if I can. All right, 十, and then people, so 10 people, 十个人. All right, so that's pretty much how that exercise should go. All right, now you have the de structure. So we have a de structure when a noun, pronoun, an adjective, or a verb is followed by the structural particle de. Okay. Grammatically, a de structure is equivalent to a noun. Okay, so 老师的, so it's the teacher's, 我的,大的, so the big, and so it's mine. But then if you look at 大的, which means the big one, 小的 means the small one, 吃的 means things to eat. Okay, so it refers to the noun. So as I was explaining before, is that this de refers to like it's like a pronoun. It's saying it's referring to the ones of whatever you're discussing. Okay. So it says here, answer the following questions using the de structure where appropriate. 你的衬衫是大号的. So your shirt is large size, meaning large size 1. 中号的, so medium size 1. 还是小号的, so or small size 1. And then you can answer whatever you want, and I'll just play neutral here, and I'll just say my shirt is medium. 我的衬衫是中号的. Okay. And then number 2, it says 你爸爸喜欢穿什么颜色的裤子? So your dad likes to wear what color clothing? And then you would say whatever color 1. Okay. You would use the same structure. So it's say 我爸爸喜欢穿, and then maybe black pants. Okay. 黑色的. You have to add the de. Don't forget that. The 裤子. 黑色的 or 黑色的裤子. You know, if the question is very clear about the pants, you might not necessarily have to add pants. I probably would. It just sounds smoother to me, but it's not necessary because you're already, the person who's is asking the question is making it clear. All right. Anyway, so number 4 is using 多 interrogatively, meaning interrogatively means in a question. Okay. So the adverb 多 is often used in a question asking about the degree or extent. The adjectives that follow 多 typically suggest an expansive quality such as 大. Okay. And then and we'll look at this. All right. And it's rarely you would use 小 or I. So it's usually when you say like how old, you wouldn't say like how small are you? You would say how big are you, meaning how old are you? Okay. Instead of saying, you wouldn't say how short are you, you would say how tall are you. It's similar in English. Okay. So 你今年多大? So you this year are how old? How big meaning how old? Again, you wouldn't say how small are you this year? How young are you this year? It's not a very common way to say that. All right. 你穿多大的衣服? So you wear how big of clothing? So, what size clothes do you wear? 你弟弟多高? So your little brother is how tall? Okay. How tall is your little brother? Form questions asking about degree or extent by inserting 多 where appropriate. So 高 and 中, okay, and then you would say how old is he? So usually you would add it just before the adjective. So it's 多高, okay, 多高, and that's it. And then 你弟弟, how would you answer that one? So how big meaning how old? So you'd say 多大. That's it. That simple. Next, denominations of currency. The denominations of Chinese currency are as follows. So the standard is yuan for just like one Chinese currency. Okay, jiao is 1/10, like kind of like a dime in America. Fen is kind of like a cent in America. You would think of it as a cent. Okay, but then you notice that that's the standard way. But then the colloquial way, meaning the spoken way, is different. You use kuai. Okay, for like one denomination, like one of their dollars. Mao for one of their dimes, or however many dimes, and then fen for cents. Okay, so stores will typically list the prices in yuan and jiao. They use these two. Fen, as you notice, is the same, but then when they speak about it, they're going to use this. If you go to a store clerk in China, Chinese speaking country, or wherever, they're gonna just say kuai and mao. All right. So here it says in colloquial speech, $5.99. If you look at it, it says 5.9 So the way Chinese would say it, so it's 5块, so $5. So they would say 5, and then the measure word for money, typically in like dollars or whatever the major denomination is, you would use 块, at least in spoken language. 9毛, which is 9 dimes. Okay, so they do it by denominations in 9. Okay, 9分, so 9 cents. So it's $5.99. I'm sorry, $5, 9 dimes and 9 cents. And then 钱, you could say all in money. Okay, the 钱 is optional, which will, it does say it if you read further. Okay. And so here it says right here, it could be omitted. Most people don't really say it. You'll hear it sometimes though. Okay. And then here it says 5块9毛9. So, you wouldn't say the 钱 unless you add the 分. Okay, that's I think what's also trying to say is that you have to include the 分 if you want to include the 钱. Okay, but the simplest way is this. This is the simplest way to say it. Okay, and this is the most extensive way to say it. Okay, so you can omit the 分 or the 钱, but if you omit the 分, you can't add the 钱. All right. So one or more zeros occurring internally in a complex number are read as ling or zero. Remember the ling? This is not the common ling in Chinese. It's actually the common one is like this. Okay. Just try to stick to that one. To avoid ambiguity, okay, mao and fun must be retained. Okay. So let's look at some examples. All right. So it says 8块5毛5分钱. So $8, 5 dimes, and 5 cents. Okay, so 5分钱. All right. So that's A. Pretty simple, pretty straightforward. There's no need to add a zero. Okay, we'll get to the ones with zeros in a little bit. 15块, so $15. 3毛钱, so 3毛 or 3毛钱, so it's and 3 dimes. Okay, so 15.30. C says 103块, so 100. And then if you want to say 103, 103. In English, we'd say $103. You could also say 103. Okay, so that's where they add the ling. So 103块. Okay, so there's where you would have, if you had a zero, you would just you would actually say the zero. Okay. And then if you have several zeros, you can also just say zeros. Just say zero, and there's no plural. So you'd say 100块, so 100. Okay. So if there's 100, there's actually technically 2 zeros there, right? So technically you're supposed to add this zero. So 03毛, so 100块03毛, and then you can add the 钱. So 100, and then with zeros because it has the zeros, and then you say the 30 cents, or the 3 dimes. Okay, 100块03分钱, so 100, and again there's zeros, and there's actually 3 of them, so 03分. So if there's any zeros in between, okay, we can sum up like this. If there's any zeros in between, you at least got to add one. You got to say the 10. Okay. All right. Now let's say the following amount in Chinese, and I think I'm going to open up the more exercises in here too. Okay, because I think that will help. So, so it says say them. So let's just use the colloquial way or the spoken way. So it says 9.99. So you would say 9块. You would use 块. And I'll spell some of these out, but I'm not going to be too tedious and spell all of them out. I'll just say them. 9块. And then 9 dimes, 9毛. And then 9 cents, 9分. And then if you want, you can add the 钱, but it's not necessary. Okay. All right. And then number 2, it says 100. So 135.20. So you want to say 135, and then their dollars. 100 in a measure, right? 135块. And then 2 dimes, 2毛, and then you can add the 钱 if you'd like. All right. And then 8604. Remember, you got to add that 0, okay? So 86, so 86块. And then you got to add the 0, 04. And then you can add the 分